Okay. Hey everybody, this is Rebecca Rosario. This is your instructor, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you how to set up your FTP. So the first thing we're going to do is in your course. So let's say you're taking web applications. In your course, on the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see the WordPress install directions. You're going to click there. And here you're going to find the three-step process. Now, when you are setting up your FTP account, we break it up into three separate processes. First step is you're going to set up your FTP. The second step is you're going to set up your database. And the third step is you're actually going to install your WordPress. So I'm going to take this process and break it up into three steps or three separate videos and show you how to do this. So the first one we're going to look at is setting up your FTP account. Now you will receive from me your username and your password. That username and the password is a temporary password, and you're going to use that to first set up your account. Now, you should have received your email. Now, I do send it through messages. So your message is going to come in your your Seminole State email, or it could be in your Sakai messages. So you need to check those locations. Usually I will send it to both places, and it will say your FTP username and password. Okay. Get all this stuff out of the background here. Okay. So in this case, let's say I'm assigned student number 250. Okay, so you are going to be given a number. It will be three numbers. So Seminole State uses a three-number combination. Jump back over here. So on your first step, we're looking at step 1. And you're going to receive here a three-letter combination. A file transfer protocol is the process of taking your files from your own computer and transferring them to the server. So you need a combination of two things. First, you need your student number. Okay, and so you have the student, and it is lowercase, with three numbers following. And then you also have your password. Now, this is a generic password. You will be instructed later on in your first video on how to change that password. Before you change your first password, you have been instructed to use a program called FileZilla, and the instructions are provided in the Word document of where you can go and download this particular program. Okay, but it's going to be okay, and they like to do lots of updates. So, okay, so your host is going to be web dev. And you know what? Let me come over and type it in this notepad document so you can see it first. Your host, when you enter this into FileZilla, is going to be web dev .seminolestate.edu. It is going to be lowercase. That will go into the host section. Your username is your student number. You must use the word student. It must be lowercase. And your password right now, we have a generic password. Now the port is going to be always 21 for FTP. So no matter what FTP or program you're using, even if you choose not to use FileZilla, there are other programs out there. But once you have your software installed and ready to go, then you would make sure you pick port 21. Then I'm going to press Quick Connect, and I should be able to connect. Now let me explain what's happening here in the screen. The left-hand side of your screen, so over here where I have highlighted, this is my own computer, and I can go through and you can see I can select my files and etc. Okay. The right-hand side is the server. This is a Seminole State server. Now, you are going to have to use the folder public_HTML, and notice I've clicked into the folder and now I'm inside. Here inside of public_HTML, I'm going to right click. I'm going to create a directory. We need 2 directories for web applications. The first is going to be a practice directory. The practice directory is where you are going to be storing your labs. Okay, so now I have a practice directory inside of the public folder. Another directory that I need, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to create directory, is going to be the publish directory. The publish directory is going to also be used in this course, but the publish directory is used for my projects. In this class, you have 3 projects broken up into phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, which is a cumulative project where you're really just building upon each portion a little by little. But notice that both my publish and my practice, press OK, are lowercase. They must be lowercase. Anything in your FTP is case sensitive within your folder names. So my instructions will tell you to make them lowercase, so make sure you have these 2 folders, publish and practice, lowercase. Now that I've connected to my FTP, that's really all you're supposed to do here within your first connection. But what I want to do is I want to show you how to access the URL. So if you are trying to access your own Seminole State URL, you would be typing in your student number. So let's say we have student 250, right? That's my number. So if I have student 250, I will type in student 250.webdev.seminolestate.edu. So first, I always put my student number. So if you are student 120, you will put student 120. You put a period. Go ahead and then put webdev, which is the name of our host, .seminolestate.edu. And when I press enter, it should say homepage for whatever student number you are that you've gone to. Now, there are 2 particular folders that we've created, right? We've created a publish and a practice folder. So if I look at my FileZilla, notice I have nothing in my publish folder, and I have nothing in my practice folder. So if I try to go to these 2 directories, so let's say I'm going to try to go to practice. I'm going to press /, I'll type practice, I'll try to go there. See, I have practice, it must be lowercase. Everything after the .edu or the domain is case sensitive. So because I created a lowercase p, I have to create a lowercase p in my folder, and I press enter. Okay, you are going to get your connection is not private. Here you will always just approve it, and then often I find that it's easiest to work in Firefox. I can get around it pretty quickly. So watch what happens. Let me go ahead. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to Control-C. I'm going to come to my Firefox browser. Press enter. Now here in Firefox, I get this screen, and here it says, I understand the risk. So you're going to go ahead and say, I understand the risk, add exception, okay, and then I press confirm security exception. I find that it's easiest to do this in Firefox. And then notice it says forbidden, but that is because I don't have anything in the folder yet. You will shortly. Okay, so once you have confirmed that you have FTP'd and you can FTP and that your username and password is correct, I've set up my folders. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually change our password. Now, to change your password, the URL to go to change your password is in this Word document. So these are the instructions that you should be following. And all I'm really doing is providing here video tips along the way to help you. Okay, so to change your URL, you are going to go to, in this document, you will find it here. I'm on page 3. There's a URL that I go to here at the bottom. I'm going to zoom in on it. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Okay, webdev.seminolestate.edu:20,000. You are going to go there. So you're going to come over to your browser window, and I'm going to come to this URL. And when I come to this URL, again, I'm going to get an error. Okay, well, the fix to do that I found is to simply, again, go to Firefox. Firefox will allow me to click on I understand the risk. I'm going to add the exception, confirm the security exception. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my username and my current password. The purpose of this particular step is to change my username and password. Be aware that Seminole State instructors within the web department, if you do not change if you lose your password, you end up having to lose 5 points for your course. So I've pressed login. On the left, I'm going to click change password. I put my current password. I'm going to change it. I'm going to press change now. Now, notice it says fail to change, but it really does work, okay? If you receive that error, it does still work. So you will probably get this error. It's a glitch, but it doesn't mean that it didn't change. This actually means it did change, okay? Think of it that way. If you see this error, that's a good thing. Okay, guys, so this is step 1, and in these steps, you have downloaded your file, you've downloaded your FTP software, you've logged into your FTP, you've changed your password, you've set up your folders, and you've gotten a little bit of an overview here of the different types of folders. Be aware that you have to create your publish and your practice inside of the public HTML or it will not work. Okay, and well, here is your first step of set of instructions. I will create a second video for these steps 2 and 3.